Today we are back here on NBA 2K26, and today we're going to be doing a new look New Orleans Pelicans rebuild. Oh, wait a minute, this isn't a new look rebuild. This team hasn't changed whatsoever, and they didn't even make the playoffs last year because the Pelicans have done nothing this offseason, which is pretty damn interesting. But before we get into today's video, YouTube does tell me about 55% of the people that watch these videos aren't actually subscribed, so if you do fall on that, we're less than 200 subs away from 50,000, so it'd be greatly appreciated if you help us out. So I've seen a lot of negativity surrounding the Pelicans right now, and I do think it's definitely, you know, it definitely makes sense. It does. This Pelicans team was not very good last year. Joe DeMars, of course, as we all know, took over and he traded for Queen on draft night. Almost was a disaster. Thankfully, their pick wasn't that high, so they missed out on Kingston Flemings. But if it was higher, that would have been absolutely insane. Like, if it would have somehow gotten to the top 4 or something like that, that would have been a disaster doomsday scenario. But yeah, this Pelicans team seems to think, or I guess DeMar seems to think, this is a playoff team when they just weren't last year. And don't get me wrong, there could be some internal development that maybe that is the case, but the Western Conference is so tough. And I truly think this team's actually in a decent spot, but they need to choose a direction, I think, of selling. I really do think Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, and some of these other guys could actually get you quite a bit in return right now, but they just don't want to do that, or maybe they don't like the offers. I don't know. Whatever it is, I do think this team, if they blew it up, would be the perfect scenario for them because they have a lot of guys that I think a lot of teams would love to have, and then you could stick with, you know, Fears and Queen and see where that gets you eventually, and then you could trade, you know, Murphy, Herb Jones, maybe Sadiq Bey would be someone you could get something for, you know, Zion. I don't know what to, you know, what's going to go on with him, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really love that the Pelicans are kind of just standing pat and just saying, okay, we're just going to run it back and that's it. It's kind of weird. So I'm going to change that, and we are going to go ahead and start out by blowing this team up. I still think, you know, we're in the offseason. Maybe there's still a chance that one of these guys gets traded. Probably not. It looks like it, but I'm going to make it happen. We are going to trade Trey Murphy and trade Herb Jones immediately because I think these guys could demand you quite a bit. I think we could at least get 3 to 4 firsts for both of them combined. So let's go grab that and let's see, you know, what the offers are. So I feel like the Pistons are a team that need to make a move, so I'm going to squeeze as much value out of them as I can. So we're going to be taking Robinson, Gary Harris, Lanier, and obviously none of these guys excite you all that much, but what I'm looking at is the 3 unprotected picks. That seems to be what the Pelicans wanted, maybe even up to 4 at one point. But if we can get 3 for Trey Murphy to start this video, I'd feel fantastic about that. So let's see what they say that idea. They say no. I mean, I could probably throw them something maybe in here. Like, what if Jordan? I guess that's too much salary for them. Just kidding. So we can't do that. So maybe we can't get the 3 firsts we're looking for. I don't know if Mikey Pete, nah. So we can only, if we can't get 2 firsts for this, then I wouldn't do it. But yeah, let's even get the 3. Okay, so they want, all right, that's not going to happen. We're not giving you. So maybe the Pistons are not the team to trade with, and that's unfortunate because I do think they are perfect. I don't really want Javonte Green. I just want your 2 firsts. I just want the 2 firsts, and we can call it a day. And then I'll throw you the 2nd, and I'll throw in PV if... No, I can't. Again, I can't do that. Okay, so what about the 2nd? Does that change anything? They say no. So that's unfortunate. I feel like the Pistons were the perfect spot for him. I really did. But unfortunately, they are not about it. So we're going to move on to something else. And then when it comes to Herb Jones, I'm going to go ahead and do this trade with the Rockets for him. We get an unprotected Phoenix pick in 2029, take on Steven Adams' contract for a couple years. I'm fine with that. So we get an unprotected pick for Herb Jones. And I might call an audible here on Trey Murphy. I do feel like that trade with the Pistons was so reasonable. So I might just force it through. I think we can all kind of agree, if we're a logical NBA fan, I'll keep it to the 2 firsts, but I think 2 firsts is more than reasonable for Trey Murphy. And the Pistons weren't even getting up with that much, and they were like, nah, I'm good. So I think I'm going to force that trade through because that's the only trade I can really think of for Trey Murphy right now. I would have loved the 3 firsts, don't get me wrong, but I think 2 firsts is extremely reasonable for the Pistons to give us. So I'm going to make that happen. So let's do that because I think Trey Murphy Detroit makes so much sense. It's kind of exactly what they kind of need off of Cade Cunningham. So again, I'm going to make that trade happen. So I'm just going to be transparent with you guys, make that happen. I usually don't do that, but come on, man. Trey Murphy to Detroit for only 2 firsts is more than reasonable. So is there anyone else I'm going to trade? I don't think so. I think I'm going to take everybody else in the season. I knew I wanted to trade Murphy and Herb Jones, but getting 3 firsts for both of them for the future seems pretty good to me. So ideally it would have been 4. That would have been nice, but I'll settle for the 3. So here's what your new look rotation is going to look like. So we have Jeremiah Fears, DeJounte Murray, Sadiq Bey, Zion, Missy, Queen, Duncan Robinson, Jordan Poole, McGowan's, and Carlo Makovich. There's a really good chance I stop at the deadline to sell off some more pieces, basically. And then I did also throw in Detroit Pistons 17th overall pick in the trade as well, just kind of even it out a little bit, so we feel pretty good about the Trey Murphy trade. So yeah, Ibuka Okori was also thrown in the trade. But other than that, we're gonna go ahead and summit this season. I again pretty much expect to be a bad team for the most part. Zion has a 93 shot tendency. Murray has an 80, which I'm good with. I wanted John Murray to put up numbers. He's probably someone I want to trade as well. I think he has a player option next year, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he does. So we do want to trade him and maybe Zion. I guess it kind of depends. But yeah, let's get to the deadline. Let's kind of evaluate how the team is doing. Hopefully we're not good, because that's like kind of the opposite of what I want to be right now. But hey, I guess we're off to a decent start. So I guess we'll see at the deadline. So I am at the trade deadline, and I'm going to be trading away Saddiq Bey over Chicago. We get Isaac Okoro's expiring contract and another first. So basically, we're just getting first-round picks to stockpile on, and well, hopefully one of them turn into anything special, or we turn them into something special. So Okoro going over to Chicago, or coming over to us, of course, and then we are sending Saddiq Bey over to good old Chicago. So I did explore ideas for DeJounte and Zion, but I hated the trade offers. It sucks because they're both playing fairly well, but the trade offers were so bad. I didn't like any of them. So I think we're going to hang on to them until the offseason, unfortunately, which, you know, kind of sucks in a way, but it is what it is. We're over 300, you know, over 500 by, or under 300 by 3 games right now. And hopefully, it looks like we might be a play-in team, which I guess is fine. Ideally, we're worse than that, but if we're a play-in team, it is what it is. So I will see you guys at the end of year one. We've traded a lot of wings so far. We've gathered, you know, 4 first-round picks so far, which is great. But of course, you know, it's all about building with those. So that has yet to be, well, we have yet to see what we're going to do with those. So that's the biggest thing. We got to figure out how we're going to use those picks to build this team back up. So Victor Wembanyama wins MVP. Peterson's Rookie of the Year in Utah. He also wins 6th Man. Wemby is your DPOY, and he also wins Most Improved. Chet's your Clutch Player, and Coach of the Year goes to Sean Sweeney. Anthony Adams is your executive, and then John Morant's your Cup MVP. So here is your All-NBA first team: Wembanyama, Jokic, Giannis, Luka, and Jalen Johnson. Here is your All-NBA second team with Karl-Anthony Towns, Halliburton, Chet, SGA, and Jason Tatum. And here is your All-NBA third team. So again, I don't think we had any Pelicans that I glossed over, but no, nothing there for us. But all rookie teams, we didn't have a rookie because of the trade, and we did end up finishing in the lottery, I believe, which is what I wanted. So 35 and 47 right outside the play-in. We'll see what pick we get. Hopefully it's a good one. But you had 26 from Zion, who had a great season. 18 for DeJounte Murray. 18 for Jeremiah Fears. So love to see that. But the hope is that we can clear the runway for Jeremiah Fears. And, you know, Murray's out of the way next year. They did start together, don't get me wrong. But ideally, Murray is out of here entirely this offseason. But Lesio goes on to win the championship. You're going to have the Timberwolves and Raptors in the finals. And it's going to be the Timberwolves who go on to beat the Raptors in 5 games. So here are your retirements, and you got DeAndre Jordan calling it a career, even though he's turned down that $4 million he got last year. But now we can get to the lottery. Let's see where we end up here. So we have, wow, that Detroit pick we traded for actually ended up being a lottery pick. So that worked out really well. That would suck for Detroit going from the #1 seed to being in the lottery, though, for them. I hate that for them, but love it for us. So 6% best odds here, 8th best odds, and another lottery pick on top of that. So we only get 9 and we get 14. So we have 2 lottery picks. Not mad at it. So I got to feel good about that. And then I would like to talk to, you know, maybe some team, you know, maybe there's a team that would like DeJounte Murray, the Clippers, and, you know, the Thunder get the 4th pick. The Rockets have 2 top 5 picks. Is there a chance they want DeJounte Murray? We trade them, you know, 9 and Murray for 5. Is that a possibility? Would they be down for that? I don't know. I might talk to him about it. I don't know if we could do that without salary being a problem, though. And he has a player option, which he's going to accept it. So let me just go ahead and make him accept that really quickly, because he's going to accept that. He always does. So let me talk to the Rockets about maybe getting to the top 5 with Murray and 9. So DeJounte Murray and pick 9, if they could even take this. I don't know if they're going to be able to. So pick 9, and then the Rockets give me pick 5. Not looking for 1. I think 1's a little crazy. But pick 1 or pick 5 they could do. And I'll even throw you the second round pick, and, you know, the second round pick. So we'll have 5 and 14 instead. So Murray's gone, so that already accomplishes Jeremiah Fears having the runway there. So DeJounte Murray's going to Houston. Zion, I still don't know what to do with him. I guess I can throw him in here real quickly to see if anything makes sense. The Bucks doesn't really make sense doing that. Cavs probably aren't doing that. So Grizzlies, I guess, but no, I don't really think that makes a ton of sense. But Miami is kind of crazy and I don't know. Wait a minute. Zion, Giannis, and Bam, that would be kind of just terrible. I don't know if that works out really well on the court, so probably not. Marshall, Gafford, Mikael Brown, I think the Nets trade him right away. So I think I'll still hang on to Zion for now. I don't really see anything that I like, but let's go see him get pick 5. I'll keep Jamal Mosley for now since he just got hired. We won't fire him just yet, but maybe in the future we will. So as far as what we're going to get in this lottery, of course, this is a weaker draft class, as we all know, but I still think we get somebody good at 5. So let's see what falls to us. The number 1 is going to be Stefan Joksimovic to Houston. The Grizzlies are taking Stokes. Wizards going to take Jordan Smith. And then Thunder take Dame Sarr, who I was kind of looking at. That sucks they took him. But you do have Caleb Holt, or we could take Cameron Williams, which I think I'm going to take Cameron Williams. So Cameron Williams, welcome to Milwaukee, New Orleans, not Milwaukee. And then at this pick, I was hoping that Caleb Holt would fall this far, but he was never going to. We could take Zentic to start him next to Jeremiah Fierce in the future, or we could take Brandon McCoy, could take Chuck Nang as well, Collins. There's a lot of guys I like here, but I think I'm going to go ahead and take Brandon McCoy here. So we'll take him out of Michigan, and we'll walk away feeling pretty solid about that. So I think Cameron Williams at pick 5 is a steal, and then Brandon McCoy at 14 I'll take. McGowan's, Robinson, and Peavy, I'm going to decline all of those. That is fine by me. And then Hawkins is a free agent. There's rumors about him being traded, so I probably won't bring him back. And his qualifying offer is crazy anyway. And I don't think I'm bringing a single one of these guys back either. So, yeah, bye. Anyway, so Fears, McCoy, and Abeka Okori. We'll have to see, you know, if we decide, or Abuka, I don't know how to say it. But we'll see if one of those guys moves over to the 2 guard. We have nobody at the 2 guard or at the 3 spot. But, of course, we could move Zion over or whatever. So, I think we could probably just go ahead and move Zion over right now. So, maybe Zion sticks on this team because I've not loved any trades that I've seen for him. But Queen and Cameron Williams, I mean, we actually might as well just move Cameron Williams to the center right now because that's probably where I'll end up playing him for the most part. So, yeah, let's do that. So, Cameron Williams will start at center, probably with Queen starting next to him. Adams just here as a veteran, I guess. Queen maybe starts at the 4 this year. And we need a shooting guard who could ideally shoot. So, let's, and then bench. But shooting guard, anybody who can space the floor a little bit would be ideal. So, let's see what we got. So we have Hardaway, Isaiah Joe, definitely kind of fits that bill that we kind of needed. I felt like we need a shooting guard who could shoot the 3 ball. So I'm going to go ahead and give Isaiah Joe a nice little contract. We'll give him $9 million a year for 3 years. I think that sounds pretty good. So we'll get Isaiah Joe probably to start for us, a shooting guard for the spacing. And then do we want anything else? Walter could be interesting off the bench for him as well. Another guy kind of, let's go ahead and grab MPJ. That's a little too much money I want to commit though. Yeah, let me get Jacoby Walter. I like that. He's unrestricted, so we'll grab him as well. And then at the 3, I don't mind Tarek, who shot 37% last year. I guess the Mavericks decided not to keep him, so I'm gonna grab him as well. We'll move him over to the 3. We'll give him a 1-year deal though. And then last but not least, power forward, give me Hendricks, who was supposed to be a good shooter when he came in the league, and we'll give him a chance to maybe do that over here. So Tarek is coming over, and we get Walter and Hendricks, so not bad. I like it. We'll move Tarek to the 3, as I said. He's up to an 80. And now you're going to have Brandon McCoy, Fears, Okori, Walter, Tarek, Zion, Queen, Hendricks, and then Cameron Williams and Missy. Okay, so if we go to progression, you're going to have Fears already up to an 88, so ideally he gets a really high shot intensity next year. Queen's at 84, Missy's up to an 82, so that's awesome for Missy. And then Isaiah Joe does go down 1, which kind of sucks, but him and Jacoby Walter can share, you know, that shooting guard spot. And Okori's already up to 76, and Hendricks is up to 78. So, all right, let's get into next season. I'm feeling pretty good about some of the things we have. Of course, Zion is on the last year of his deal. If he's asking for like around $20 million a year, I think we keep him. But if he wants another max extension, then ideally we trade him away. But you guys know that I've not liked anything that I've gotten, you know, offered for him that made sense for us. But, you know, deadline spur action. So maybe we finally see something that, hey, you know what, we'll just commit to it. We'll just go with this. But Queen does go in with a concussion. Interesting. Okay, so Zion Williamson, it doesn't look like he's willing to talk an extension. Let's see what he says. None. It just says none. Okay, so I don't know what he's going to be asking for. I guess we'll find out, and I will still explore the idea of trading him at the deadline. But for now, Fears, Isaiah Joe, Zion, Hendricks, Missy, Tarek, Walter, Sissoko, Cameron Williams. So, of course, once Queen is healthy, that should kick Actually, let's just go do this right now because I do not want Sissoko getting minutes over Cameron Williams. So we'll move him to like point guard or whatever. So he's not doing that for us. Okay. So that should put, Hawkins in there, which is fine. That's okay. And then once Queen's healthy, that'll kick Hawkins out of the rotation. And Cameron Williams still plays, which is ideal. Okay. Only other thing I want to look at is Fear's shot tendency is a 78. So let's push that up even higher, give him a bigger role this year and see what he can do with it. And I will see you guys potentially at the deadline or at the end of the season. Wow, we got off to a great start, but it doesn't look like it's going to hold. But I like some of the pieces we have. It's just a matter of figuring out the rest. So John Morant's coming out here and winning MVP for the Blazers, which is pretty interesting to say the least. And here are the rest of your awards. So this was a worse season compared to last, but that's not the worst thing in the world because, I think being in the lottery is still not a bad thing necessarily. So yeah, 15-6 from Cameron Williams. So yeah, disappointing. I can't even say it was disappointing. We were just bad. So yeah, 22 from Jeremiah Fears, which is good to see though. And 24 from Zion, 17 from Tarek. Wow, did not expect that kind of season out of him, but only give him a 1-year deal as well. He's probably going to walk and get a payday somewhere maybe. Cameron Williams with 15, Queen with 9 and 8, and then 9 from Isaiah Joe. But yeah, let's go ahead and see who goes on to win the championship, and then hopefully we end up with a pretty sweet pick to add to what we got building here. So we got the Blazers with John Morant averaging 38 points per game. It might be my sign to finally nerf this dude in 2K because, this is a little crazy. Don't get me wrong, there is a chance he becomes a good player again, but is it realistic he ever turns into this? I don't know. I guess I will tell, but as a Blazers fan, that'd be great, but I don't think that's very realistic, but whatever. So this is the offseason expansion, so let me go ahead and add that in really quickly, and then we'll get through this offseason, hopefully with a good lottery pick. We're gonna have the 4th best odds, which of course is the best we've had so far in this video, but let's see what it results into, and we end up with pick 8. So 4th best odds did not really do us any favors. Pick 8, so that kind of sucks, but it's okay. At the end of the day, we can make it work. So yeah, would have been nice to have had a top pick here. Of course, this is a pretty stacked draft class. We could have walked away with anything pretty solid here, but not meant to be. I think we do go ahead and fire Jamal Mosley. Never really liked that hire to begin with, and I'm going to go with, I'll see if Nick Nurse wants to come to New Orleans. I'll go with Quinn Snyder, see if he wants to come over, and then we'll offer JJ Redick. So hopefully one of those 3 guys. We got Quinn Snyder or Redick. I'm going to go with Redick. So let's get JJ Redick, who I think played for the Pelicans at one point with Zion. And let's go to the protection spot. So they want to declare or accept all these besides Isaiah Joe, which I do think that's probably the move because Isaiah Joe is the oldest player at 29 years old. So I do agree with that. I did not even jump in here. Don't even need to go in here, but we saw Juris Walker was the #1 pick. Isaiah Joe probably got taken from us, if I had to guess. Maybe not. No, or yeah, he did. So he got drafted pretty high. So Isaiah Joe's in Seattle now. So we lose him, which is fine because I gave him, a decent amount of money. All right, so let's exit the draft, and now we have the 8th pick. And what do we go in really needing? And of course, it goes without saying, I did not find a trade for Zion that made any sense. So yeah, I think we're stuck with him. Hopefully he's asking for 30 million or less. If he's getting to the 45, 50-ish, I'm going to have a problem with that. So we'll see. But going in, I do think, needing a guard or a wing is probably the biggest need for this roster. So let's go see, what falls to us. So we got Marcus Spears going to Sacramento. We got Utah taking CJ Roster. Joaquin goes to Brooklyn. We got the Hornets taking Diggs. Nicola going to Las Vegas. Seattle getting Beckham Black. And then Utah takes Ryan Hampton. So with us, we have Lincoln Cosby, Caden Daughtry, Adonis Ratliff, Nathan Solomon. I think I'm going Nathan here. This is a pretty easy pick for me out of France. And he is going to be a 78 overall. So I actually think that worked out perfectly. Yeah, kind of what I said we needed. We get player options, Fears, Queen, and Akori. We're going to accept all of those. And then Tarek, who did have a really good year for us, but I'm going to let him go. I know that sounds crazy to do, but I don't think he can repeat that. And then I don't really want him to shoot. Okay, so Zion, as I was kind of hoping for, isn't asking for like 45-ish. I think I could get there with him then. Oh, I guess it is in the 40s. Okay, I would give him 3 years 35-ish. I think, or 36. Something like 35. I'd rather do 35. I would do 35. If he likes the Nets offer better, you know what? I hate to do it, but I'm okay with it. Let him go. That's fine with me. And he may like the Nets offer better. And he does. And I think that's fine. It sucks to have lost him for nothing at the end of the day. But I think it'll be addition by subtraction, letting him go and letting some of these other guys blossom. So I didn't want to commit that much money to Zion. I'm fine with that. And he goes to Brooklyn where he can go do better things potentially. So we'll commit to Missy coming back though. And then now we, are without Zion. But we did just draft Nathan Solomon, who I think giving him a big role right away is not the worst thing in the world. Queen, and then you have Cameron Williams and Missy still over there. And Nathan, Jacoby Walter. We do probably need to move like McCoy to the shooting guard, which I think is fine. We'll play him probably as the backup next year. And you have your kind of backcourt rotation there. And then we just need some forwards to kind of rotate out. So, Tarek is still restricted, so we could still bring him back if we wanted to. Or we could bring in like a Ricochet or Guy Santos or something like that. So, probably won't do that. But backup power forward, Ron Holland, is a little too much money than I'd rather spend. Give me, like, I would take Rui for a year. I don't want to give, oh my gosh, we have so much cap space. It's actually crazy. But there's not really any good free agents. That's the funny part. I mean, we're out of moratorium, so they might have all went. But should we just spend money? I mean, I guess we have the money. Let's just throw some money at Ron Holland. Why not, right? It's not like we can give him a non-guaranteed deal next year or something. 25 a year. Doesn't hurt us too much. We have so much money right now, so I'm funny. So I'll throw Ron Holland some money then. We'll grab him, and we'll probably go ahead and move him to the 3 as well. So he's up to an 85 by doing that. And then power forward back up. Could go for Keyshawn George, who is restricted. Throw him a bunch of money. Don't hate that idea. We'll give him... I'm more committed to him, though. $15 million a year. See if the Wizards want to match that. They don't. So, yeah, a lot of money to be spent. We spent it, and now you're going to have Queen up to an 86. 86 Ron Holland. 84 Missy. 85... or 81 boost for Cameron Williams, up 5 overall, and a Corey's up to an 80, and then McCoy's up to a 79. So this should be a fun season. Very young still. I still think we need probably a couple more seasons of guys developing, such as Nathan and Cameron Williams. But if those guys turn into what I think they can turn into, that's when it will be scary. But of course, that's probably a couple years down the line, unfortunately. So here is what it will look like. So you got Fears, McCoy, Ron Holland, Queen, Missy, Keyshawn George, Cody Williams, Tarek, who's back, Walter, and a Corey. So that leaves Nathan out of the rotation, which kind of sucks. So I guess Tarek found his way back on the team. And it does suck to do, but I don't know. I kind of want Nathan. Oh, he got a 3-year deal, actually. Okay, I guess he's got to stay then, because I was like, should we just release him? That way Solomon plays, but I guess we could just go 11 deep. That way Solomon does get some run, and that's what I want. So it's not a ton of run, but at least he'll play. And then the only other thing I want to look at was... conservative defense. I want to go play. I want to see if this team can, be good this year. I'll go neutral offense. I don't think we need to play through a star just yet or anything like that. Fears has been pretty solid, and Zion is completely gone now, so I can only imagine what he might be able to do this year. Queen's going to have a bigger role if he wants it, and we'll see. I still expect this team to be bad for the most part, but again, I think if we let Solomon and Cameron Williams develop, but we also did put on play physical defense, so that could change everything. That setting is so OP, it's crazy that I've discovered that, and I've been playing 2K for this long. But yeah, I mean, look at what the hell is, we're literally okay. Play physical defense needs to be nerfed. It really does. This is actually absurd. All right, well, I'll see you guys at the end of the season. I don't know how long this holds up, but if we end up as the 1st seed or 2nd seed, that is just kind of wild. So Wembanyama wins MVP. Beckham Black is Rookie of the Year in Seattle. Cameron Williams wins 6-man, so he's starting to show some promise, which is good to see. Wemby, Depoy, Flemings is your most improved in... wow, so they did not even hang on to Flemings in Atlanta. John Morant still averaging 35, and Sean Sweeney is your Coach of the Year, and Anthony Adams is your Executive, and Josh Giddey is your Cup MVP. Here's your NBA first team. I mean, do we get Fears on here? No, unfortunately not. I was kind of wondering if we'd get that because we did kind of hold up. Now, we didn't end up as like the 1st seed or anything, but we did end up as the 4th seed in the West, which again is kind of insane because I don't know if we're really that good yet, but apparently we are. So 24 points to Jeremiah Fears, though. I do love to see that. Cameron Williams with 16 and McCoy with 15. So good stuff. And I, don't really know what to expect as far as how far we'll go. The team doesn't look too bad, so maybe I'm not giving this team enough credit, but I definitely am a little surprised in how good we were. Corey is hurt right now at the moment, but let's see if we can come out here and beat the Blazers, who of course have John Morant, who's just absolutely killing it in Portland right now. Game 1 goes to the Blazers. Game 2 goes to the Blazers. Yeah, I'm expecting to just get swept here. So Portland, John Morant, it's mainly John Morant, is so OP, but they do lose to the Mavericks, because Cooper Flagg, on the other hand, is OP himself. And they go on to win it all. So crazy season, very crazy season, but ideally and hopefully we get some damn good development here out of Solomon. And obviously Cameron Williams continues to go up. And we have 2 projected lottery picks apparently. So that Detroit trade has turned out phenomenal for us. And that Herb Jones trade is showing itself right now too. 2 picks for those guys. And neither one of them ends up in the top 5 or anything. But we get pick 10 and pick 14. So 10 and 14. We'll probably try to trade up like we've been doing. So let's see if we can go in. We have 25 and 28 as well. So I think we could definitely make something happen here. So 24, 25, 28. 3. Let's try to get to like let's try to get 5. I think we get 5. I think that'd be awesome. Or 4. I'd be cool with that. Seattle. I mean, Seattle is probably a team that needs a bunch of things because they're an expansion team. Does Philly want to give us 3? No. Okay, so they say no to the 3. That was a little bit of a wishful thinking. About 5. Okay, we get 5. You know, we got a good spot. We got pick 5 now. I'll take it. And we'll go soon and get at pick 5. So hopefully whoever we grab here is going to be able to play right away, be rotational for us. So Charlotte's going to take Reese Robinson. Clippers take Tony Garma. Colton Hiller going to Philadelphia. And then AJ Williams to Denver. So at pick 5, we have Isaiah Hamilton. Or we have Kamagate or Leonard. I think I am going to go take Kamagate here. So out of Texas, 7'2" big. And we'll bring him in. And he'll be 79 overall. So that could not have worked out better. Ron Holland. I mean, we're not paying anybody just yet. It is coming soon, but I'm going to accept everybody here. And then Queen and Fears are free agents. So, of course, that could be, you know, where things get expensive here soon. Queen is asking for way too much money for what he's done. He has not done anything over the top. Fears has earned it. He's averaging 20 plus, you know. Queen, I can't get to the what you're asking for. Queen's going to have to come back as qualifying offer. I'll give Fears 30 million. I'm good with that. He's been good. That's fair. I think he's earned that. But Queen, on the other hand, I have to match this, dude. Oh my lord. Do I match this? I guess. I don't love it, but I'm gonna match it. I don't know about that one, but okay. So Queen got a bag, and I don't feel like he's done anything to deserve that, but it happened. So okay, well, we lost Jacoby Walter, but I do feel as if we could play, you know, Tariq or Ron Holland, the 2, or whatever it may be. So I think we can make something happen there. So I'm not worried about bringing anybody else in, and then we could still slide some other things, or we could get former Pelican Nick Alexander Walker, who I think spent some time here. He did. You know what? Let's bring him. Let's bring him in. Why not? So, all right. Let's go to progression. Hopefully, this looks really good. That's the hope anyway. And you do have McCoy up to an 82 and Solomon up to an 82. Not bad. Unfortunately, Cameron Williams doesn't move, which I hate that because I was really hoping, you know, he was going to jump up quite a bit, but did not get that this year. But McCoy's up to an 82. He's ready to contribute next year. This team is weird, but weirdly enough, it's like, good. We were really good last year, other than getting bounced in round 1 to, you know, to the Blazers the way we did. But this team has surprised me, and maybe next year this team surprises us even further. I don't know if a championship isn't within reach, but we're at least a playoff team again, I think, right? Because of how good we were last year in the regular season anyway. Playoffs was a totally different story. But Power has us at 18th. We played pace and space last year. They now want Kamagate to start right away. Interesting. That moves Cameron Williams to the bench, unless if he's hurt right now, which I don't think he is. No, he's just on the bench. Okay. Well, alrighty then. I think we roll with this, and then more than likely you'll see me at the trade deadline to maybe make a big bolster upgrade. I don't know. Maybe last year was a fluke. We don't make the playoffs this year. We'll have to see. But it does look like we're turning it around a little bit. So yeah. Let's get to the deadline and maybe buy. I think this team might be ready to compete based off what it's shown me the last 2 years, but we'll see what we're at, you know, what our record is at the deadline. So I am at the trade deadline, and I have a trade that I love. I'm going to be grabbing Con Knipple from the Charlotte Hornets and sending Queen, Alexander Walker, Tariq, and a second. This is going to be a crazy trade. Con Knipple is not someone I've really ever traded for, but he becomes our brand new starting shooting guard, and he is making a lot of money, don't get me wrong. But I think this will, you know, kind of put things in perspective. So if we look at kind of what I'm thinking, so let's move Cameron Williams back to the 4 because I want him to play a bigger role. So it's going to be Fears of Corey. You're going to have Con Knipple, McCoy, Ron Holland, Nathan, and then Keyshawn George, Cameron Williams. So Cameron Williams starts, and then Missy Kamagate. So I like that quite a bit. And here is what your starting 5 looks like now. So Fears, Knipple, Ron Holland, Cameron Williams, Kamagate. So ideally, and then Nathan Solomon eventually takes over for Ron Holland. But that's kind of my ideal starting 5 going forward. Fears, Con, Solomon, Cameron Williams, Kamagate. I think that's awesome. And if the bench stays afloat, this team could be really interesting in the future. But for now, we're still kind of just floating, and we're not quite anything special just yet. But I think next year is kind of my target year that I think, hey, a championship is within reach as long as the development shows next year. As long as progression is on our side with Cameron Williams, Kamagate, Solomon, I think this team could be definitely really scary. I love the Con addition. So yeah, this year things kind of fell apart a little bit, but I'm not overly concerned about it. Like I said, I think next year I have a lot of expectations for this team, and we kind of fell into that play-in spot as a 10th seed. Now, we still finished up over 500 at 45-37, so that's still a respectable record if you ask me. But 45-37, here were your player stats. So you had 25 from Jeremiah Fears, 22 from Khan, which is kind of what I wanted when we brought in Conkanipple, and he did his thing. And yeah, so I really like what I'm seeing. But of course, the biggest thing is, do we get in? We do beat them, and we actually get in the playoffs. Okay, so we're actually in the playoffs. Wasn't really, sure if we're going to make it. I'll probably let Ron Holland walk in free agency and let Nathan have the, ropes there. But we get to play the Warriors, who have Giannis and then Brandon Miller. So I guess the Hornets have lost Brandon Miller with Khan. I don't think we're ready to win yet, but who knows, maybe. And we lose in 7. Okay, that's fine. I think, again, all that matters is development this offseason. If we can get some good progression, Timberwolves go on and win it all. I'm so optimistic about next year, and I'm going to have a lot of expectations on next year. So if we reject all of these, I don't know if we'll have a lottery pick from anybody this year. Maybe we do. Didn't see our team name or logo, so I don't think we're in there. And we do have... we have 19. So we have pick 19, and we'll probably let the AI take care of that, and JJ Redick will remain the head coach. So let's see what we get at pick 19. At pick 19... we're going to walk away with Alex Alexander. So welcome for now, but I don't really know how much you're going to contribute. Qualifying offers, Abeka Ubuk. I can't say his damn name, but you know who we're talking about. So he is the only one who's a free agent. He's not asking for much money. He came from the Murphy trade, so we'll keep him around. And then anything else we need to bring in? Or are we kind of set? I think we need a backup 3 to feel good about. So let's go ahead and trade Bobby Portis. Get him out of here. Let's see if we get like a 3 for him or something. So... or he could just be a third string. All right, let's do it. So Jalen Wells is going to come to New Orleans. Okay, so Jalen Wells, kind of the perfect backup that I was looking for, and he just kind of fell in my lap. So I'll take him, and we'll grab a Corey. We'll renounce Ron Hahn. We'll bring him back for that much money. And now if you look at progression, fingers crossed, it looks good, and it does. So that's what I want. So Fears, 90, Nathan, 85, McCoy, 84, Kamagate, 84, and Williams up to an 83, Keyshawn George, 83. So yes, I'm feeling very, very good about the potential of this team next year. I think a championship is a possibility. We've been, getting Cameron Williams and Kamagate at pick 5 each draft was amazing. Of course, we traded up both times to make that happen. But I'm happy with it. So let's go look at this rotation and, into this next season. I think we could be a contender. The Power Rank only has this at 17th, which isn't the highest by any means, but, it could be worse. You got Fears, Khan, Nathan, Cameron Williams, Kamagate, which I said this was my ideal starting 5, and I love the look of it. With McCoy, Missy, Keyshawn, Jalen Wells, and Okori. It's a pretty strong bench as well. Depth, maybe not the best, but that's okay. So, hopefully this year, proves that, hey, we are ready to be something. So we shall see. I will see you guys at the end of the season. I have high expectations for this year. Hopefully those expectations are met. But so far we're under 500 right now. So, it would be funny if we just had that one random year of being a top 4 seed and we just never, turned back to that. But we are turning it around. Got a win streak going. So I think we're looking pretty good right now. So Paulo is going to win MVP for the Orlando Magic. JJ Crawford, Rookie of the Year in Las Vegas. Caleb is your 6th man, and Wemby is your DPOY, and Cameron Williams wins Most Improved. That's awesome. So I didn't even boost his tendency or anything. It must have just naturally went up. Kate's your Clutch Player, and Otis Newman is your Coach of the Year, and Alex Ford is your Executive. But Cameron Williams has already, won 2 awards in his young career. Obviously 6th man and now Most Improved, so good for him. No NBA representatives, actually no, Cameron Williams is on here. Damn, okay, I almost missed that. 21-11 from Cameron Williams. Love to see that for him. Here's your NBA 3rd team, all defensive 1st and all defensive 2nd. We end up as the 2nd seed in the West in New Orleans, so it was an ideal season. So you had 21 from Cameron Williams, you had 19 from Khan, and then you had Jeremiah Fears with 19. Of course, or unfortunately, he is hurt, and then Nathan with 18. So a lot of guys putting the ball in the basket. So hopefully that means good things for us going into these playoffs. We do have Jalen Wells out right now. I think I saw, yeah, so he is out for 2 to 4 weeks, and that's it. So just a couple injuries, but hopefully nothing to hurt us too much. But now for the Phoenix Suns, we have Carter, Collins, Kopi, Malawach. Actually looks like a pretty good Phoenix Suns team, so hopefully they don't give us any issues, but we're up 1-0. They even it up. Game 3 goes to Phoenix, and this is not looking good for us right now. We tied up. Yes, we can. Can we win Game 5? So Game 5 is going to be a big one. John Wells, of course, hurt. We knew that, but now it looks like he's back and playing. So that's a big boost to our bench and all that, but would ideally love to win this game, but we will not. So we're down 3-2. This Suns team is giving us some issues. So it does look as if we have been a team that have been good in the regular season, but the playoffs, it has not been the story. We obviously got swept by the Blazers last year, and the Suns are, going to maybe eliminate us here in round 1 as the 2nd seed, which would really suck, but we do hang on here barely. So we force a Game 7 back to New Orleans, and we still got Minnesota awaiting us, which they're always really tough to play. So hopefully we do get a chance at Minnesota to see how we measure up against them, but Phoenix is not going to allow that to happen, I think, unless... No, we lost, fellas. So we lost 107-97, so that's really unfortunate. Would have loved to have seen how we could have competed against the Timberwolves, but back-to-back years where we just simply were not good enough at all. So the Chicago Bulls with Zion, I will say, by the way, going... Oh my gosh, this dude. I might need to nerf him as well. So he's up to a 91. That's crazy. All right, well, thankfully we got like one more month here on 2K26, and then we'll be back to 2K27, their ratings and all that, but whatever. But anyway, lottery does not matter for us. I don't expect a whole lot of change. I'm kind of like locked in what we have, and it's just a matter of we've been unlucky, man. I like Redick. Should I fire him, though? I don't think so. I think Redick always, has brought me championships in the past. So I won't fire him. But I'm definitely disappointed by the last 2 years of being eliminated in round 1 the way we've been. It's really unfortunate. So hopefully that will change this year. But Nathan and, Kamagate, of course, will accept. McCoy and Cameron Williams definitely looking to bring both of them back. I think this is kind of just a, run it back thing. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to just stick with running it back. And we're just going to hope that there's more progression as well. That'd be helpful. There is more, so that's great. Yeah, rotation is going to basically stay the same. So let's just get into next season. Currently up to an 87 is definitely a lot better. So our whole starting 5 is looking pretty solid right now. Hopefully just much better sim. It was not very good last year. Getting eliminated in round 1 back-to-back years is really unfortunate. But we'll see. Actually, I think it's been 3 years in a row we've been eliminated in round 1, right? Portland, and then we made it and played the Warriors, lost to them, and now Phoenix. So... Of course, we were the 8th seed when we lost to the Warriors, but yeah, very disappointed. So hopefully we can fix it going into this season. So it was our strongest regular season yet. Redick gets Coach of the Year, and then, in fact, Cup MVP went to Jeremiah Fears. So that's all great to see. Awesome. Love that. But all I care about is getting to the finals, winning a championship, because that's how talented this team is. So you had 20 from Fears, 20 from Concanipple, 18 from Cameron Williams, 17 from Nathan, 14 from McCoy, 11 from Jan, and then 8 from Akori. So we have been eliminated in round 1 3 years in a row. If we get eliminated here again, it's over. It's never been more than over. And it is the Phoenix Suns again, funny enough. And they're the team that beat us last year. If they beat us here again, then it's GG's. But so far, this is going so much better. Don't know why we couldn't have done that last year, but I guess we get what we wanted last year. I wanted to see how good we'd be against the Timberwolves, and now we get that opportunity here. LaMelo and Edwards, who have given me issues lately in rebuild, so I am a little afraid here. But game 1 goes to us. Okay. Game 2 goes to Minnesota. Game 3 goes to us. That's a big win there. Game 4 looks like maybe we beat them in 5. Okay. So we do match well against the Timberwolves, and now we get to play the Jazz. So we do look to lose. Or no, Con's just on the bench. That's fine then. Caden Boozer, Rosser's over there in Utah. So Peterson, Rosser, and Ace Bailey is quite a trio. But we'll see if we can beat them, because we have quite a team as well. But they're up 1-0. We evened it up. Game 3 goes to Utah. Game 4 goes to us. Game 5, big one here. We win. Do we beat them in 6? Yes, we do. So we're in the NBA Finals to play. I would love to play the Bulls to obviously play Zion. It'd be funny if that happened. It is the Bulls. So ask and you shall receive. So we let Zion walk a long time ago. Never got anything in return for him because I never loved any of the trades. And now we get to play him in the finals. And we're up 1-0. They even it up. Game 3 goes to us. Game 4 goes to us. And it does look, as long as we don't blow a 3-1 lead, that maybe a championship is indeed coming to New Orleans after all the chaos we've been through. It is a closeout game here. but it looks like maybe if we just hang on a tad bit here, I think we have done it. So fellas, that is going to be the end of this one. We blew up the Pelicans, and we've turned it into something pretty nice, I think. So I really do think the Pelicans are missing out here by, they can still do it at the deadline, but I think, man, they should trade Trey Murphy and Herb Jones right now. I think that, or whatever they have. I think there's a bunch of teams that would love the role players they have, is what I'm trying to say. But of course, I'm just a guy on a video game, and I'm not in the front office in the chair, so I don't know if Joe DeMar is getting the offers he likes. So maybe there's a chance there's not any offers that make sense. So who am I to say this? Anyway, thank y'all for watching. I hope you guys enjoy. Thank y'all for watching. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace.